Ken Hill here, and I want to spend a few minutes talking about a pretty exciting new project that we've got going on, and that is the Ken Hill Fundamentals Masterclass. And this is something that's been in the works for quite a while, and yeah, we're getting it launched. So let's dive into it. What is this Ken Hill's Fundamentals Masterclass? Why am I doing it? What can I expect? Is it for me? Before we go deep on that, let's talk a little bit about the challenges that we face in the motorsports industry when it comes to performance training. Because we really need to start with that, because that leads to a lot of why am I doing this? And compared to other professional sports, motorsports remains old school. Let's face it. There's a lack of consensus around training methodology, standardized techniques, processes, or even a common glossary. The acceptance of rider or driver coaching is exceedingly rare, even at the highest levels of the sport. Yeah, it's getting better. It absolutely is. But again, when we compare it to other sports, it's just not there. And just for context, in the US, there's over 11,000 full-time paid baseball coaches. In the motorsports world, there's less than a handful of people that do what I do full-time and get paid for it, that make this a career that they take seriously and work on improving the sport itself. And in motorcycle racing and car racing to a degree, has historically been regarded as an art. Winning riders or drivers are often called aliens, and their performance is chalked up to raw talent instead of the development of finely honed techniques like other professional sports. As a result, progress in our sport has stalled. Many riders or drivers wrongly assume there's no clear pathway to improve, and they simply aren't good enough to do it. This old school thinking leads to massive turnover, riders or drivers getting injured, or when the plateau hits, and we all know the plateau is going to hit, they either become frustrated and either start throwing parts at their ride or abandon the sport. And I can guarantee throwing parts hoping for a better lap time is not sustainable. Okay, so why am I doing this? Why am I doing the masterclass? My goal is to elevate training in motorsports to what's on par with the standards and practices of other high-performance training. And it starts with having fundamentals and a set order for those fundamentals. In other sports or other high-performance disciplines, when you mention the fundamentals, it's simply given that they exist. Otherwise, what the hell should you be working on and why? In motorsports, the idea of fundamentals is quite new, and my main mission is to bring these standardized fundamentals to the forefront. While motorcycle racing or car racing is pretty damn cool, the fact is it isn't so crazy hard or unique that it can't be learned or trained for, just like any other sport. It absolutely can, and I've seen proof of it countless times throughout my career. Ultimately, I want to share my passion for the sport with you, and my passion was built on creating and getting good at those fundamentals. There's just no better feeling of showing up to any track, any vehicle, any conditions, anywhere, it doesn't matter, and to be able to be proficient at it. And it's just like, I'm ready. And that's that enthusiasm and passion that I want to be able to share, because yes, it is 100% trainable. Regardless of where you're at, regardless of your goals, it's 100% trainable. The order of the sport is a methodology I've developed over 25 plus years of coaching. It was created by analyzing what the best of the best do and decoding their habits and techniques, honed by working with thousands of riders of all skill levels. Let's pause there for a second. The important part here is having methodology that works not only at the last 0.01%, but methodology that works at the first 20% or 30 or 40%. We need a base foundation that allows us to grow with it. And yeah, it's the fundamentals don't change, only the degree of application. And I think that is incredibly important. And yeah, the last 20 some odd years, that's what I've been doing, right? Is working with thousands of riders of all skill levels And these fundamentals, right? These fundamentals, there's 6 of them, and they were developed by working with all these people. But more importantly, they're taught in order of priority, and they are scalable to riders of all levels. And I want to make that point again, right? Which is the fundamentals don't change, only their degree of application. Okay, so what's up with this masterclass? I've been involved with schools for decades, and whether it was at the Freddie Spencer School, helped found the Yamaha School, I've been in that school environment, and I understand it. I understand the challenges that it has, right? All the pluses and the minuses. So I do get it. So I come with this with experience, knowing what works and knowing what doesn't work. And the masterclass is designed to offer an affordable access point to these fundamentals that covers not only the what to do, but the how to do it. When we look at organized training right now, the options for schools or training in general is pretty limited. We have either low cost, high student count environments that lack a fundamental base, have little to no individualism, and the instructors teach based on their own opinion. That's a struggle, and that is one that we're constantly having to work on people that have had advice. What's advice? Advice is an opinion. Advice is not proven methodology. Or we have high cost schools or high cost one-on-one training that, because of the cost, is limited to who can come. And we, the industry, we're lacking an environment that is affordable, works off proper fundamentals, has set objectives and report cards, offers individualism, along with instructors that are trained and on board to continue and train and learn just like the students. That is the masterclass. So what can you expect? What does the day look like? We run 45-minute sessions with 2 alternating groups. And yeah, that can be changed, right? You're going to see some schools that are 5 students, 1 group, but we're never going to go over 20. And preferably, we actually like to have a little bit less than 20. But there'll be 2 alternating groups. And in the classroom, we cover each one of the fundamentals in depth, then have a writing session right after that where you go out on track and work deliberately on those fundamentals with set objectives and report cards. We'll give you essentially drills. So we'll set up drills, whether it's understanding where the apex is, what you should be doing at that apex, whether it's a brake release drill, whether it's a body position. We're going to be covering all the fundamentals. Your instructors are the same instructors for the entire day. They're side by side with you, offering feedback from your sessions as well as help plan your next session. So yeah, a typical day will look like this. Come in, we'll do a morning briefing, which is essentially kind of an enhanced writers meeting. And then we'll get into the talks. So there'll be, we'll have a class in the classroom, class out on track. It will be alternating. We'll have 45-minute class talks going over each fundamental in order with definitions, why it's a fundamental, breaking it down, what to do on track, and more importantly, how to do it. In addition, we'll also cover other topics, electronics and data, what makes you a professional athlete, building your own feedback loop, what's holding you back. And well, I want to pause here for a second because every class is slightly different. Why? The topics may remain the same, but you as an individual, your understanding of where you're at is going to change, right? So if you come to multiple schools, what you learned, you're just going to start from a higher base. Your understanding is going to be different. So we want that to be individual. And each class also has a slightly different dynamic. Your questions and needs are different, and we're going to be in a position to be able to respond to that. So again, the techniques are the same. It's just the degree of application for you and where you're at in your individual circumstance. Yeah, so actually that gets us into the individual. Will I get individualized attention? The masterclass is built around having 2-way conversations. Everyone learns differently, and your questions and experiences are key in getting the most from your school. We need you to ask questions, otherwise we can't read your mind. But we want to be able to respond in a way that helps get you through your understanding and what it's going to take to be able to understand that particular fundamental. We have a 4-to-1 student to instructor ratio, and there could even at some places be more than that. And with the longer sessions, plenty of time to ride with an instructor, where during the session they'll offer feedback and loop that back to the classroom for all of us to talk about and work on. And that's really where the magic happens. Is there's an evaluation that's going to go on. We're going to talk about if we're working on vehicle placement. We're going to talk about what a body position, whatever it might be. And we're going to get information from that instructor that was out on track with you, and we're going to be able to answer those questions for you. Who am I partnering with and why? Yeah, this is quite a big one. Track day providers that host a Ken Hill Masterclass are held to some pretty high standards. Pre-event instructor training is mandatory. Instructors are selected on their commitment to not only the students' training, but their training as well. Instructors are assigned to one of the groups, and they stick with that group the entire day, getting to know you, your goals, and your next steps. The goal with Masterclass Providers is to enable you to come back to one of their days, work on the fundamentals with an instructor that has been trained to use the same language, same methodology, and in the order of priority for what you need. Will I get a Masterclass booklet? There'll be a standard school handout covering the day, and the providers will have the option to supply students with an official set of Masterclass documents that cover the entire set of fundamentals, and that spans about over 30 pages. So yes, there will be some nice white paper available. Schedule of events, yeah, we're going to have on my Substack, there'll be a separate tab with a link of the classes that are available, where in the US that they're going to be available. Actually, there's also a class in Canada in this year, 2024. And you'll be able to look and see which one might fit your schedule, and they'll have links to be able to sign up. So wrapping up. As mentioned, my goal is to elevate training in motorsports to what's on par with the standard and practices of other high-performance training, and do it at a reasonable cost for you to build your own process with these fundamentals. I think this is a place, I think this is something that we're really lacking, is something for you to be able to intake, something for you to be able to process for yourself and be able to build upon that. And that really is what my goal is with the masterclass, is for you to get what you need from it, and for you to be able to build on these fundamentals and yeah, progress and be able to meet all the things that you want. So I hope to see you at a masterclass.